I'm Parasocial. I use they and pronouns. Welcome to my accountability channel. And I am going to start with actually taking accountability for where I have been the last months. It started with me going through burnout and then buying a house, renovating the house, getting back into my job and still being renovating, and then moving, and then settling, and then unpacking, and then figuring out that maybe it's not a good idea to stay in my job and looking for a new job. I am still looking though. But that was what I have been up to the past few months. And I also have been debating what I am going to do with my life, which is something that is going to come up in this video. I have a few goals for 2026, starting with losing the weight that I gained in 2025, because burnout does not equal fat loss, and being healthy, it equals feeling really fucked up and not having the energy to do anything. So that's also how I got off track when it comes to foods, when it comes to working out. So my goal in my goal in 2026 is my goals in 2026 come down to being healthy and doing what I want. And more specifically, I have a list of my goals that I'm going to do here. The first one is losing 24-ish kilos, which is what I gained during the times I wasn't doing any challenges or I wasn't filming. And I want to go back to that healthy weight, which comes to doing challenges and going back to the gym and going back to running. But I'm gonna start taking it slow and build up from there. So right now, the first thing to do is track my calories and figure out how much I'm eating, how much I can cut, and what I like, what I don't like food-wise when it comes to eating healthy, which shouldn't be a problem because I like a lot of things. And then I'm gonna add running back into the mix. I'm thinking of actually going to a 5K race this year. We shall see how that goes, but it sounds like fun, so why not get actual motivation to do something and actually do it. The other things when it comes to my life is that I want to start my Korean up again. I haven't studied Korean in about a year, and there's plans to maybe go to Korea in 2027, and I want to actually be able to speak Korean when I go there, so that's a thing. When it comes to studying, I'm also going to buy a course to learn how to produce music, because right now I have been just experimenting with my musical channel, and I like what I'm doing, but I also don't like what I'm doing, because I feel like there's no growth in how I produce my music. So that's going to be a very fun thing, I hope. Another thing of studying is I am still a working student at the moment, which means that I'm also studying animal care. So, yes, I know I am doing a lot of things, but it's also a lot of things that I actually want to do, which is, I think, the most important thing, that you do things that you want and not things that you feel like you have to do. So I have the plan to actually stick to my study schedule in 2026, which means that I am going to be able to do more than what the people at the school say that you should be able to do as a part-time student, depending on how bad it is for my music production and my Korean courses. But let's take it one day at a time. And then there's some other things. For example, finding a new job, because I started looking in the middle of December, and I want to get a new job that isn't taking things home, because today I worked from 10 till 4 just preparing for the job I have to do next week. And I want it to be a little bit less time at home and a little bit more time at the actual job. Preferably either a job that is completely work from home, but you log it out at this time and that's it for the day. Or it's you go to a job, you leave that job completely and utterly at that place, and there's nothing to do at home. We shall see how that goes, but I am optimistic that the best thing will happen for me. Another thing I want to do is write a book. That's also a course that I'm looking at, because I've started writing a book when I was studying in America, and I liked it, but I feel like I don't have time. But no, I am not prioritizing it right now, so I want to start prioritizing it again. And then a money thing is saving up and finishing the renovations, which is not going to be able to be done in 1 year, but there's a lot that already has been done, and I know that I am going to be able to actually do a lot of things myself, but I still have to buy the materials I need for things, so I am going to save up for all of that. And something that I am going to save on is yarn. I have way too much yarn. I have way too many things I can make, and yet I always feel like I need to buy more yarn, which I don't have to. I have a closet and a half full of yarn that I can just use, that's just sitting around. So that's something that I'm going to do. The only reason I'm going to buy yarn is if I don't have enough to finish a project. That's it. Anything else is no. And that is basically everything I want to do this year. I am going to divide it up into smaller parts. So instead of being I'm going to lose 24 kilos for this full year, I am going to divide it up. I'm going to lose 2 kilos this month. And then I'm going to lose another 2 kilos the next month. And I will see how that goes. The studying Korean is also going to be part of my study schedule, so I'm going to be taking out time to study every week, specifically for my Korean, my music production, and my creative writing. But there's a sale going on, so I am going to have to wait for 30 days before I can start my Korean and my creative writing, but that is a problem for later. It's maybe a good time to it may be a good time to just chill and actually figure out what works, what doesn't work, how everything is going. And I haven't talked about my YouTube. I am going to upload at least once a week. I repeat the same thing as I said last year, and we saw how that went. But right now, I'm already a week behind, and I am okay with that. But I am going to try and pick it up a notch. So that means uploading music once a week and uploading my accountability channel, this one, once a week. I am currently filming this week's thing, so that should be up today, I hope, or tomorrow, we shall see. And then I am going to do some challenges. I'm also going to be talking about books I read. I'm going to be talking about the things I knit and crochet and am making. And I'm going to talk about my studies that I'm doing, my life in general. And I hope that you enjoy it. We shall see what happens. And I know that if I ever need to take a break, I'm going to take a break, and that will be my video, just a video of me being like, hey, I'm taking a break for this week, but it's going to be okay, because it has to be. There is no other option. Since, you know, the world is burning, why not make my own interpretation of how life should be, and actually trying to live that life, helping people, still volunteering at the animal shelter, and trying to make the world just a better place. Maybe doing that through my job, depending on what my job is going to be, hopefully helping through my job. And I have no idea what else there is to say for this week. So I will see you the next time. Be nice to each other and help whoever you can, even if it's yourself. That is also a perfect way to spend the day. I will see you in the next video. Bye!